Okay, welcome everybody. This is going to go by Chad the Walking Man. Um, Thought that was a nice catchphrase for a channel. I don't have any viewers or any subscribers yet, but I'm still going to start making content. I'm outside, like all my stuff's going to be walking. Therefore, I'm the Walking Man. And today is Thursday, August 26th. 2021. I am walking today, of course, and it's a little sprinkly. We're gonna get some rain up here in Duluth, Minnesota. Got a little bit today, not very much. Supposed to get a little bit, I think, the next 2 or 3 days, which is good because there's severe drought right now in northern Minnesota. That's why all these lightning fires are taking place. I think there's 4 or 5 of them burning right now. The big Greenwood fires, 23,000 square acres have been burned. And one of the reasons I came on to make this video today was because on Tuesday and Thursday we had a big cloud fume of smoke that came down here to Duluth Tuesday and today Thursday, and it was just overwhelming. I woke up this morning and it smelled just like it did Tuesday, and like it did in Grand Marais on Sunday. So we got a lot of smoke, and it's because the winds are shifting and they're blowing the fire smoke down this way. So we are behind the Whole Foods hillside. And they've got the co-ops up here. Hey. And basically it's like Whole Foods like in Dallas. I think the same company, but it's a co-op. A lot smaller. There's a couple of them up here. And we've got a nice stairwell that leads up to the co-op with a bike rack up there. It's the shape and moniker of the co-op. And I am walking from downtown area to I'm walking down an alley behind 4th Street. 4th Street is the long flat street that a lot of bikers ride down to get from the east side of Duluth down to the west side. The west side is where Denfield is, the high school. The east side is where Duluth East High School is. There's 2 main high schools here. There's Marshall, which is a preparatory where a lot of international students come. It's a private, expensive high school up here. And these are some of the homes. A little bit older, as you can see. A lot of these homes down here, I think they've turned them into duplexes because some of them are 10, 12, 13, 14 bedrooms. This one's a duplex, but I think they're originally large homes that are converted into duplexes. A lot of these old buildings were built in the early 1900s, late 1890s, early 1900s, 1910, 1920. And then a lot of the homes that were built then, those years, but then they came after World War II and built a lot of other homes in the late 40s and 50s. So either most of the homes up here are really old, like 100 years old, or they're like 60 years old, 100 plus years, 100 to 120 years old, or they're like 60 years old. So but it's a little smoky, and we're gonna go ahead and walk home. Now Duluth, I just want to fill you in on Duluth a little bit more. It's very similar to San Francisco. San Francisco is set up the same way. It's just huge hills, and a lot of these Like over here, they're building. So a lot of these areas over here are under construction, and they're repairing roads because of the winter. The snow tears up the roads. They're constantly building new homes in these areas. They're some of the old ones. They're getting out some of the old ones, putting in some new stuff, and they're remodeling. A lot of people are moving up here to get away from big cities. So this area is growing a lot. As you can see behind me, they're doing construction here. I'm not sure what they're going to put here. This is behind 4th Street, which is the flat street. And there's a lot of people working around here. They're looking at me making a video, wondering what the heck I'm doing. But we're still going to make it. The hillside, like I was saying, a lot of these homes are built on the hillside. And this is kind of like like San Francisco. See that hill go straight up? That's not even, that's a little hill. Some of these hills are like super steep. This one's going down quite a bit, down to the lake. You gotta go straight down to get to the Lake Superior. And we can do a lake walk today if you want. I mean, we could do that. I don't see why not. We could make 2 or 3 videos out of it. Just do walking videos. So we're still heading down 4th Street because I live way up the hill, but a little bit more on the east side than the west side. The makeup of Duluth is you have the lakeside, and you have the homes on the lakeside. You have up on top of the hill, you have the east side, and then lakeside extends all the way down the coast, and then you have the west. A lot of the crime, drugs, stuff like that happens in the west. Yeah, I don't mean to, say all the bad stuff only happens there. It happens everywhere, but most of it happens down there. Lincoln Park, West Duluth. So, if you live there and you're watching this video, there's nothing wrong with that, living there. I'm just saying that there's some really nice homes there, some nice communities, that have been safe communities for decades. But I'm just saying that in general, a lot of stuff, since I've been here in the last year have happened down there. I've read through the Duluth Tribune, the news, stuff like that. So, everybody forms their own opinion. No one's opinion is correct. So that's just what I've seen. So, we're still going down the alleyways because it's a lot less traveled. 4th Street is a very busy street, and that way you can hear me a lot better than if I'm walking on 4th Street with a bunch of cars going by. I'm not going to get very, very good value out of the video that I'm making if you can't really hear me. So we're just making content. So I thought talk about stuff that happened. This morning there was a big explosion in Afghanistan. I used to live in the Middle East myself. I don't think I filled the watchers in on where I lived, but I lived for about 9-10 months. I lived in the Middle East. I lived in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. So my mom opened up American fast food restaurants out there, and this was in 1980 and 81, and so I got to see Abu Dhabi, Al Ain, and Dubai in its infancies. I got to see them right when they were becoming westernized. There wasn't a lot down there on Airport Road, the Corniche. We established restaurants We got one in Sharjah, Al Ain, Dubai, and Abu Dhabi. Um, we didn't have any in Ras Al Khaimah or Al Quwain, or any of the other Emirates. But I'm very familiar with the UAE. It's become very modern and westernized. It's I know they've got more skyscrapers there in Dubai now than any other city. So I know it's up and coming. It's really quite a change from what it was 41 years ago. I'll tell you that. 41 years ago. This looks like Section 8. I don't know. But they've got cleaners over there, I guess. But you see a lot of really old places that are kind of decrepit, but you see some that are, have some new siding. Those two right there look like they have new siding, but they're probably 100, 120 years old. And here's down there is the second hospital. They're doing work on the one hospital up here. But I've got my U.S. Open hat on because the U.S. Open's starting. But we'll get back to the explosions. They've got some explosions that happened a few hours ago in Afghanistan. And Afghanistan's similar to, not really similar, but in some ways it's become a lot more westernized than it was in the 70s and 80s. I know that they have incorporated social media, a lot of new westernized technology down there. They've modernized a lot of their cities, Kabul, all that. But I don't know what's going on, but the Taliban's came in, released a bunch of prisoners that were some bad eggs, and some, scary, dangerous people. And I think the 2 suicide bombers this morning were one of the 2 that were released from the Taliban. So I don't really know what's going on. All I know is what I read and what I hear in the news. So, but people up here aren't really too worried about what's going on out there. I think major cities are more worried about what's happening over there, but it kind of does involve everybody, because I think there's 15, 16, 1,700 Americans that are trying to get out. And, I don't know what the situation is there. So over here, we've got the ski hut, and they've got snowboard, bikes, and paddles. They've got their own SUVs, and they've got their own store, nice little store here. So they're, this will be a big winter store. They're going to get a lot of business here in the next 3 months. People getting ready for snowboard season, for ski season, cross country, hockey. Hockey is really, really big. Let's see where we are. Okay. So hockey's really big up here. We have UMD. I was talking about UMD yesterday with the girl getting in for the space studies program. Her dad built her the 45-foot rocket in her backyard from Bemidji. They have all kinds of programs there. They just all the students started coming back. I think yesterday was on the news. So I think they're welcoming them back, because school's supposed to start, I think, on Monday. So today's Thursday. So I think they're getting settled. But we have school and colleges are going to reopen here in the next week or 2. And I guess everybody's going back to school everywhere around the United States. So see how that goes. Like I said, I have my U.S. Open hat, because the U.S. Open, let this car go by. There's a car right here. Let them go by. But we have a U.S. Open, I think, starting next week or the week after. I think it's next week. I think it starts on Monday or Tuesday. Usually it starts on a Monday, but I went 3 years ago and I had so much fun. It was quite quite a wonderful tournament. I went just for day one and day two, but I had never been. I went to the 1984 gold medal match between Stefan Edberg and Jimmy Arias. And Edberg won. He won the gold medal in '84. That was the first time they had tennis in the Olympics. I also went to the opening ceremonies in first baseball they ever had in the Olympics. This is in '84 at Dodger Stadium. My dad was lucky enough in 1984 to work for the Olympic Committee. My dad was a big sports fan, so we went to a lot of Dodger games, some Angel games. Went to a lot of the Lakers, Clippers, Raiders, Rams. So I grew up an LA fan, LA sports fan. Got to see, the Rams with, all their good teams they had in the late '70s. Nolan Cromwell, the Youngbloods, Jim and Jack Youngblood. Merlin Olsen and Deacon Jones, they weren't playing then. They had retired not too long before that. We had Wendell Tyler. He used to carry the football in one hand. He used to fumble all the time, but he was really fast and very elusive. Good running back. And then we got Eric Dickerson, but I think we got Eric Dickerson in '82 or '83 from SMU, Dallas. So got to be fans of Eric Dickerson because he's from SMU, Dallas. So, and that's where I've been for the last 32 years. So I'm a big Eric Dickerson fan. He was an incredible running back, and I'm a big LT fan for the San Diego Chargers. He was a great running back too. So we got someone coming up here, real tall guy. We're not gonna put it in my camera. I think we're getting close to where we could cut over and we could go walk way down to the lake. So my ear thing is coming off. Try to fix this. There we go. So, but yeah, I grew up in LA, saw the Lakers a lot. We used to go to the Forum. They had a little cafe where you could meet the players in the '70s. So, Kareem would come in there, Jamal Wilkes, Sweet Lou Hudson, Bob McAdoo, Mitch Kupchak. This is before we got Norm Nixon, before we got Magic, and Silk, Jamal Wilkes, before we got Michael Cooper, before we got Magic, before we got Worthy. And then once we got Magic, the tickets just quadrupled in value. And so we couldn't afford that. So I think we took a year or two off, and then we started seeing the Clippers because they just moved to LA from San Diego. They're the San Diego Clippers. I think right before they moved to LA. And we went and saw a lot of the Raiders. They were really big. They had Jim Plunkett, Tom Flores. I think he just passed away, unfortunately. They had Cliff Branch. They had a lot of really, really good players. Howie Long, who does NFL, he was there for the Super Bowl year when we beat the Redskins, just destroyed the Redskins. That was an incredible game. Not like the '79 Steelers game against the Rams at LA Coliseum, which was that one was a very close game. The other one was a bloodbath. The Raiders just destroyed the Redskins. And I'm a Cowboy fan, so that's good. You know, I'm not a Redskin fan, but nothing wrong with DC. I love DC. Shout out to Logan Circle and DuPont Circle. Been there a couple times and just had some of the best fun I've ever had in my life up there. But let's see. It's a little beautiful little river, little canyon down there. And we're just south of 4th Street, the flat street. So it's easy on the feet, easy on the knees, easy on the legs. You can walk just miles upon miles upon miles without any issues because it's flat. So we're probably going to do a couple videos today because I think even though there's a lot of smoke in the air, I think the wind, look at this is kind of neat. We got this house here that says 1319 East 3rd Street, 100 years young, established December 1912. So that's pretty neat. You got a lot of historical places here. Look at this. Over here it says Farmers Market, Duluth Farmers Market celebrating 100 years. They've got a lot of history up here, which I like. One of my degrees is in history, so I like that. I'm interested in history. There's a seagull. We're right by the Lake Superior, so get lots of seagulls around here. The further you go up the hill where I live, the more bald eagles you see because there's more forests and trees. North of Duluth is where all the Superior National Forests are, and it is just, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of acres of wild national forest up there. So I think we're going to go ahead and head down to the lake. Well, no, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pivot. I'm going to make another video. The lake's beautiful, but I'm going to make another video later with the lake. Just being that by the time I get home, it's going to be probably an hour from now, and I got to hike uphill. So if I go down the lake, it's going to take me 15-20 minutes to get there, and then another 20-25 minutes to walk down to the aerial bridge, which is where everybody's going to be walking, and I'm not going to be able to get good video coverage, and I'll have to make 2 videos, and I'll have to walk all the way back up here to this spot. So that whole journey will probably take an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then this way will just take an hour. So over here on 4th Street and 14th, we got Burrito Union. We'll go walk up here by that. This place, I ate here 3 weeks ago, and it is just phenomenal. I think they have outdoor dining, but the day I went, it was super hot. It was like in the 90s, which is very rare. I mean, we've only had like 3 or 4 90s days here in the last year, and one of the days I went there, it was like 90 something. It was kind of humid, and normally I'm used to humid because I lived in Dallas, and then Houston's real humid, so is Dallas. Not as much as Houston, but it's still pretty humid there. But it was a weird type of humid. It made like the 90 something feel like 100 and something. So we ate indoors because we're freshly vaccinated in May. So, you know, we just started eating out, I think, about a month or 2 ago. And oh my, will you look at that? This Burrito Union has Tito's Texas vodka umbrellas. Now they have Ficker's Brewery stuff here. They have all kinds of different beers, but they have, look, as you can see on the umbrellas, Tito's homemade Texas vodka. How about that? Up here in Duluth. This place is just absolutely incredible. Burrito Union. So, this place is really, really good. They make fresh burritos. It's always packed. And it's lunchtime now. It's like 12:30, 12:40, and it's starting to rain. As you can see, we're getting raindrops. Usually we only get like a quarter to half an inch, but it's starting to come down a little bit. We're still going to make videos, but this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to go down the lake, because I knew it was going to rain. I didn't know how much. But the Burrito Union place, not only is their burritos really good, but they take like a presser and they press the burrito down and they like cook it on both sides. So you get like a big giant Chipotle burrito type burrito, but they also, after it's prepped and made, they put one of those grills, a burrito grill, and they cook it, and that way it melts the cheese inside and doesn't melt the vegetables too much, so it gives it a crisp outer laying of the burrito. Really good. Not many places make burritos like that, and I thought that was unique, especially for up here, because this isn't a real big foodie city. I talked to the group that I've met over the last 2-3 weeks at the park that I take my dogs to, and they said, the one thing Duluth, a lot of them that have been living here 40-50 years, they said the one thing that Duluth's missing is the food, and they need more interesting, eclectic food. One of them is saying he likes Mediterranean food, Middle Eastern food. We can't get enough of that. I think we got one Greek place called Costas up here, one in West Duluth and one in Hermantown, and they're closed down until September for renovation. I think Monday or Tuesday they open back up. But I like it. I've been there. I go there every 2 weeks. I like it. But we're on 4th. As you can see, this is the flat street. And there's a lot of people down there. Then you go down the hill to get to the lake. And a lot of these homes over here. All these, lots of homes all the way around. There's a boat. It's a Wisconsin boat, but a lot of boats up here. Little fishing boat. This one needs some siding. This looks like a duplex. Looks like an old model from the 1920s. Looks like they got Forest Lake hockey in their window. And this is big hockey. I was mentioning UMD earlier. UMD is a powerhouse. They're Division 1A hockey, but the rest of their sports, I think they're like they're like Division 1 AAA or 3A. I'm not sure. But they have Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, Division 4. Each division in college for athletics is a slight downgrade. So you can see I'm getting a little wet as it's raining. So Division 2, it's not as hardcore, as competitive as Division 1A. You have Division 1, 2A, Division 1, 3A, and you have Division 2. I'm not sure if they have a breakdown of A for Division 2, but they have Division 2, Division 3, Division 4. I know my dad, I think he went to a Division 3 or Division 4 school. I won't name his school, but they're really good in certain sports. But my dad was real athletic. He played tennis, basketball, and I want to say golf, all for the same university. Maybe it was tennis, track and field, and basketball. But I know he played 3. Maybe it was baseball, tennis, and basketball. I know for sure he did tennis and basketball, because my dad's super tall. He's 6'4". I'm 5'9.5". My mom's 5'4.5". So I'm kind of stuck in the middle. We are heading up here. We got some bus stops over here. There's some people hanging out the bus stop. We got another house here. Kind of needs some renovation, some work done on it. And you see their garage needs a lot of work. Everybody's got a little garden in their backyard. It seems like gardening's real big up here. A lot of almost every home has a little garden in the back, but they populate the garden with things that don't die in the winter, because we get 5 to 5.5, 6 months of snow. So we're just out walking today. We're talking about the news. I know Michael Nader died yesterday, which is heartbreaking. I used to watch all my children. I know that's kind of a thing that girls watch, soap opera, but I used to watch that a lot when I was in college, 89, 90, 91, 92. And I know he was Dimitri, I think it was Dimitri Merrick, and he was half brothers with Edmund, who just passed away last year, and now Dimitri's passed away. Hopefully Susan Lucci will pass away next year as well. So I don't know what's going on there, but I know the matriarch, head doctor, he died a year or two ago. I know Kelly Ripa's dad on the show, he passed away I think 10 years ago. Kelly Ripa was Haley Vaughn, and she married in real life Mateo, Mark Consuelos, and we occasionally watch Ryan and Kelly. It's a good show. She did some good work on that show, so try to follow her, watch her once a week when I have a chance. But we like that show a lot. We're still on 4th Street. We're heading toward an area that's a little bit not so steep, but it cuts through nicely up here. It's not as treacherous, and I don't have to zigzag as much. So we're walking towards East Duluth from downtown area, and I know if you're from Duluth, you know Duluth, and you're seeing this, you're like, you know exactly where I'm at, heading down 4th. We're going actually up here to the street that Sarah's Tables off of. Sarah's Tables, I did some other videos. I don't think I uploaded them yet. I might in the future, but Sarah's Table is this really good breakfast place. Usually runs between $15, $25 for a meal there per person, and they've got great food. It's gourmet breakfast. They've got a really interesting menu. It's not just your normal breakfast cafe. They've got outdoor dining. They've got a unique menu that has a lot of garden fresh organic ingredients. So I highly thumbs up with Burrito Union back there and Sarah's Table. Chester Park Sarah's Table. I think this is the full name. Yeah, I went there with my dad, and I went back there with my girlfriend, and here we got the old bulldog. Don't know what this is. I assume it is a UMD store, because they are bulldogs. Minnesota's the Gophers, the Golden Gophers. I think their mascot is called Goldie the Gopher. That's just what I heard. I'm not from Minnesota, so I don't know. But up here, they're the Bulldogs, UMD Bulldogs. And like I was saying earlier, UMD is a powerhouse in Division 1A hockey. I know they've been to like the Final Four like 3 or 4 years in a row. Sorry, my allergies and the smoke are making my nose and the eyes itch a little bit. But up here, what's this? This is the Golden Bulldog, and they open at 3, which is in a couple hours. What is this? Let's take a look in here. Looks like a little brew house. Huh. Interesting. There's lots of little brew houses up here. This one's, they got Bell's, Shells, and other beers. This is a very small one though. It must be like a college pub type. There's Bet Paddle. In Superior, there's Earth Rider. Bet Paddle's near downtown. We have the Vickers Brewery. That one was built in the early 1900s by August Vickers, and now the Vickers Brewery that's in there rents it from their family, I think. They're not really a Vickers Brewery inside of it. They make their own beer, and they distribute it out. I don't know. I just moved up here, so I'm just learning. So I know they carry the Vickers name, but I saw the lady up there, and she said that they rent from Vickers. So I don't know that story, but in Burrito Union, they have a lot of Vickers beer. So I think they make it and distribute it to restaurants in some locale around here, but I don't know the full scenario, what they are. But I know they do make their own beer in there. And then they have Canal Park Brewery. The big one's Castle Danger. Castle Danger Cream Ale. I never had it till I moved up here, and that's one of the reasons why I'm exercising a lot, because their cream ale is absolutely delicious, and it's probably the most sold local beer anywhere in the Twin Ports. Is Castle Danger Cream Ale. Bent Paddle is really good too, and that's really popular. But Castle Danger, their cream ale, is the go-to. I think it's because they have quite a bit of sugar in it. So, if you're pre-diabetic or have, any sort of close to diabetic blood sugar level, it's not a good beer to drink. Tastes great. It's filling, gives you a nice little, beer buzz, but it, it's not I don't think it's the healthiest beer to be drinking. I don't think any beer is the healthiest, but they do have, I love Bent Paddle. They have some sour, different types of beer that are really good. There's one in down near Stillwater, outside of Minneapolis, called Lift Bridge, which is really good. I tried on the Vista Fleet, the boat that takes you through Lake Superior, and they have a mango blonde beer, Lift Bridge, which is very good. And so we are at the street right here, where that takes you down right to the lake, and this heads straight up the hill. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna head straight up the hill. Lots of people trying to get through this intersection here. So, head straight up this here. And go in. What is this? About a 45, 50 degree angle, maybe 60. It's pretty steep, maybe even higher. I don't think it's a 90 degree angle, but it's getting up there. but we're gonna walk up it, and I'll probably get a little, winded, but I'll continue talking. So Michael Nader passed away, unfortunately. I heard he had cancer, 76, which is a shame. He was really good. I know he's on Dynasty and some other shows. I think he had some other appearances on some shows in the 60s and 70s and 80s shows. But yeah, he was a really good actor. So I guess yesterday was his death date, like on Manifest, and which is a good show. They released season 3 on Netflix last week or 2 weeks ago, and from what I read, they're the number 2 or number 3 show on Netflix right now, because they released the 3rd season, and they're making a 4th season. So that's an interesting plot. It's kind of like Lost, kind of weird but interesting. Or Fringe. Fringe is a good one too. They kind of deal with the unknown and different dimensions, possibilities. So that kind of stuff's pretty cool. Like Doctor Strange, different dimensions in time and space continuum, that kind of fascinating comic book stuff. So we are hiking up the hill, and it's getting steep. So, as you can see, it's straight up now. This guy's coming down, but it's straight up. It's no joking. This is a hike. It'll get you a good workout, help you burn some fat, strengthen your legs, your lower back, even get you a little core work in, which I need. That's where my visceral fat is. So I weighed myself. I was 196, which is good because I weighed in the upper 197s the other day, because I ate a whole bunch of pie from 2 Harvard's Betty's Pies. I had 6 different slices. Didn't eat all 6. I ate 3 of them, 3.5. But I had different tastes of the other ones. So in actuality, I probably had close to 4. But that's way too much. I don't eat a lot of sugar, as much sugar as I really shouldn't be eating any sugar, but I don't eat like that much sugar on a normal basis. So I do love soda. I love my favorite is cherry vanilla Coke. That's my go-to if I see that on the menu. Cherry Coke or cherry vanilla. I usually want a glass if I go out, but when I'm at home, I usually just drink water with my food. I drink 1 or 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and I have 2 or 3 Premier Protein shakes throughout the day, although I should be drinking 4 or 5, because that's a good way to get your optimal protein amount. So I weigh between 194 and 196 right now. And ideally I should be, drinking about 195 grams of protein, or consuming that much protein a day, while keeping my caloric intake down. You don't want to consume more than 3,000 calories in a day. So the older you get, you got to kind of watch, the amount of calories things have. Like soda's got a lot of calories. Hamburger, bread, it's not good for you. White bread especially. You want to keep the calories down. Everybody knows that. It's to watch your weight. You have to have more calories out than more calories in. You have to burn more calories than you take in if you want to successfully lose the weight. And you have to be, taking proper vitamins and minerals to support your body health and function, promote health. And I'm going to cover all kinds of stuff on this channel: health, food. I'm not an expert, like I said on my other videos. I just know a little bit about a lot of different things. But yeah, you want to try to keep, like in my situation, my weight for being 5'9.5", being overweight. I'm 20 pounds overweight. So healthy, you want to be between 180 and 190 grams. Now this right here, wow, we have, as we were talking, we have a Sarah's Table menu, beverage menu, established in 2002. So you guys get to see their menu. I just found this. I didn't steal this. It was on the side of the road, as you saw. There's their menu for their drinks, their beers, their Duluth cider beer, their Shirley. Shirley's a brewery. Castle Danger, Summit's another brewery. Blacklist, Earth Rider. They've got lots of different bent paddles, Shirley, Bell's, Summit. That's another local one, I think. They've got lots of different stuff here. They got mocktails, cocktails, martinis, ports, different coffees, hot teas, cold beverages, kombucha. So really neat menu. But that was just sitting there on the side of the road, and there is Sarah's Table at Chester Creek. I said Chester Park. I'm sorry, it's at Sarah's Table, Chester Creek Cafe is the full name. And this place is gourmet. This place is wonderful. I was highly impressed. And I think they're open till 2:33. But the other night I came down here and did a video, which I haven't posted, but it was 7 or 7:30 at night and they were still open. Someone came in. They're coming in for coffee or drinks or something. But as you see from their drink menu, they have lots of stuff. This right here is a vintage cooked or uncooked pizza. I think it's called VIP, Vintage Italian Pizza. And they go by VIP. And I heard good things about this place. Someone at the dog park was recommending it. They said it's really good. It's one of the top 4. It's kind of an old building, but it's one of the top 4 VIP great Italian pizza. One of the top 4 or 5 pizzas. And then you have the patio dining from Chester's Table, and they have the bent paddle umbrellas for the brew house. There's people on the patio looking at me, wondering why I'm filming. But it's really nice there. Walk a little bit quicker. We got the VIP pizza pasta calzones, and the intersection at Sarah's Table, Chester Creek Cafe. And they have really, really nice outdoor. There's people when you be seated outside with a couple of them have their mask on. Up here, we started doing masks about 2 weeks ago. Nobody was requiring masks until I think about 2 weeks ago. Right when my dad got here, they started doing masks. So because of the Delta variant that's spreading, but up here it hasn't spread that bad. So I still go to the gym without a mask on. But that might change. Like I said, gardens in a lot of people's backyards. Here's a trellis of gardens. There's sunflowers are real big up here. There's tomatoes. There's some really nice garden in the back of this florist and gifts. And looks like another shop here. And This looks like the house that has a garden because they have big letters Garden, garden. And we'll see what this is. This is acupuncture and electrolysis. I think there's other stuff in there, but that's across from at Sarah's Chester Creek Cafe, at Sarah's table. And this person here looks like they're very politically minded. A lot of different city council signs, Black Lives Matter signs. I think Minnesota is predominantly a Democratic state, but it's split. I know Pete Stauber, he's a congressman up here, is Republican, and he's very well recepted up here. He's been reelected 2 or 3 times. I know there's Tom Emers, I think he's Republican. I've seen a couple of videos of his. He's really a sharp guy. I saw him. So there's lots of sharp Republicans up here. Like I said, I'm not Republican or Democrat, but I like to listen to their open-minded ideas. I know he supports quite a few things that I'm strongly believe about. So I think he's a great guy. He's not anywhere near our district up here. I think Amy Craig, she's another lady that's around this area. But I don't really know a lot about this area. I know there's a large Somalian, the largest in the United States, down near Minnesota, and that's where that one lady, the real controversial one, is. I'm so bad at government news, but most people know who she is. Ilion, she's a representative down there for the Somalian sector, her district. It's not solely Somalian, it's, all American. It's, not to say it's just Somalia. It's not. It's all Americans, but there's the largest Somalian population there. There's a huge Tibetan population in Stillwater, I heard. I know there's a lot of Danish in southern Minnesota. Lindstrom is the little Swedish capital of Minnesota, I understand. And then you go up 35 and there's lots of really neat little cities coming up from Minneapolis up to Duluth. And we've been to Wisconsin several times, and to a lake down there. We went and visited a Webb Lake in Wisconsin. It was pretty rural. We took the back roads to get there. It was pretty rural for about 90 minutes just to get there. I mean rural. No gas stations. We saw 1 or 2 restaurants. Right now we are heading uphill. Like those 3 people, they're heading down to Chester's table. They're looking back. I'm filming. But a lot of people come from their home up here and they just walk down to the restaurant. And they've got lunch, breakfast. It's really good. It's kind of pricey, but it's really good. It's like $15, $25, like I said earlier. So we're making a long video. We're at 54 minutes, and we're briefly touching on the news, talking about the explosions in Afghanistan, which happened this morning. I think they just reported, like I read on the news just an hour or two ago, like 13 people died, 2 suicide bombers. So, craziness breaking out again. The crazy times we live in. COVID went away because of the vaccines, and then the Delta, I think it started in India and that region, and now it's spreading here. So it's really bad in the southern states, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Texas. It's really bad. Um, I know it's highly contagious. I know if you're vaccinated with both boosters, you're supposed to have a lot of efficacy to fight it. You still have a breakthrough case and still be hospitalized and get sick and get long COVID. And so people don't really want it. But like at the gym I go to, people don't wear masks because it's hard to exercise in mask. When you sweat, you breathe hot, air coming out. You get the mask all wet. Especially the N95s, the KN95s or the KN94s. They soak up a lot of the moisture. Those are the really good ones that really protect you. They have the clean mask, the surgical, the blue ones. Some are yellow. I've even seen some green ones that go around your ears and they're just kind of like a square, look like a surgical mask. I heard those protect you from spreading it, but they don't protect you very much from the actual germs that can get inside the mask through the vents of the side holes and stuff. They wrap pretty tight around your face. They help a lot, but not like the KN95s. I was lucky to just get the last box at Home Depot 2 weeks ago, and they've been sold out since then. They just have the painter ones, the big giant round goofy looking ones, but I was lucky to get the good ones. So those of you that don't know, I think I have one on me with this is see, it says KN95s, and they have kind of like a metal nose crease that actually forms around your nose and then wraps around your ears. And those are ideally the better ones to keep you safer. So I wear this when I go indoors somewhere. Not all the time, but some of the time. If I'm going to a supermarket, I'll wear it where there's a lot of different people. Sometimes small restaurants I usually don't, but I know I should. This hill takes me up to UMD. So we'll be up to UMD in about 5-10 minutes. That's up the hill. So I'm trying to put content on this video without having dead air, because I did customer service for a couple years, and also when people go by, I'm quiet for a sec because I don't want them thinking I'm talking to myself or talking to them. I am kind of talking to myself, but what I mean. I kind of shut it down for a few moments so they don't think that I'm directing my speech, trying to film them, because I'm new to creating content. So we don't have a sidewalk over here, so we're gonna go ahead and walk in the road, and this guy's gonna kind of veer off to the side from me, which is nice. But up there at that little fork, if you turn right, that's UMD, about 1,000 yards to the right, and we can go and get a picture of it. But yeah, we were talking about the news, local news. Vikings had that immunologist, epidemiologist specialist who's on CNN and MSNBC all the time. He's an older gentleman. I think his doctor starts with an O. His last name starts with an O. But I think the Vikings coaching staff hired him on Monday, today's Thursday, Monday or Tuesday, to come and speak to the Vikings, because they are the least vaccinated NFL team in the NFL. And from what I've read, is that their defense is supposed to be really good. I I mean, we're talking like top 3 or 4. I've even seen on some whatever Bleacher Report, they're going to be the number 2 defense in the NFL. So they've got a pretty good defense. I think their defensive line is really good. I know the Cowboys need help with their defense. They drafted a bunch of defensive players because I think their Swiss cheese defense was pretty bad last year. I think they were 6-10, which is the worst they've been since the Dave Campo days. And I follow them every year. I watch almost all their games, even when they're bad. I met Quincy Carter, met Troy Aikman, Quincy Carter from Georgia, Troy Aikman from UCLA. That's where I almost went to school, but they didn't have my athletic program there, so they had just quit sponsoring it the year before I graduated. So UCLA is a great school in Westwood. Powerhouse in basketball with Kareem, Lou Cinders, and Bill Walton, Grateful Dead head. I'm a Grateful Dead head. I saw the Grateful Dead a lot. My first Dead show was in 1985, December 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st, Oakland Coliseum. I don't think that's the same Oakland that the Golden State Warriors played there for a long time in the 80s and 90s, but then I think they got a new stadium. And then they just built another new one. I think it was Oracle, or now the new one's Oracle. I'm not sure, but they have a brand new one. And they moved to that last year, I think, which I heard is phenomenal. But that was my first Dead show. I've probably been to, I don't know, a lot. Probably 60, 70, 80 different shows. Because, when they play at a concert venue, there's usually 3 or 4 shows there usually. So I've been to probably 15 or 20 different venues where they played at. I saw them a lot at the Silver Bowl in Vegas. I went there, saw them before Jerry died. After Jerry died, they kind of just disbanded. They kind of went their own way and didn't really have any. I know they formed War Frat, and there's a lot of other bands that formed from them, like Fish, and a lot of other bands that are similar. I know I'm leaving out a ton. But then the last few years, they got John Mayer, and they're the Dead & Company. I know Phil, he's a little bit older. I don't think he wants to join them, but they got a OTAG, or not the Big Brother TV show, OTAG, but I think it's similar spelling. But he's a interesting cat, and they get this really good keyboardist, and Bill and Mickey on the drums, and Bobby, of course, and John Mayer. Yeah, I didn't know what to think. John Mayer, I know he's good, but I was just blown away how good they were. I saw them, broke my ankle at their show. I tripped off the lawn, and that's a long story. One day I'll get into that. But that was in, this lady's giving me the free go, so we're going to go over here by UMD and take some pictures and get some footage of UMD. They're back to school, so there's lots of kids running around, or they're probably in the dorms now, but it's on the way home. We'll cut the video short after we show UMD, and then we'll start up another video, probably be a 20 or 30 minute video to get home. But I'm just talking randomly right now, talking about the Grateful Dead. I saw them July 2nd, 2019 at Dos Equis Pavilion in Dallas. Incredible show. They did some Texas songs. They did El Paso, which is a really interesting song they don't do very well. They don't do very often. They do it very well. I don't think they're the original writers of that song. I think that's an old country western song. But I mean, everybody knows it's to El Paso, and then they did Deep Elm Blues for Deep Elm, Dallas, and they did another Texas song. I can't remember, but it was a great show. And what was there's one song, Sugaree. That was John Mayer's best Sugaree he ever done with the band. He ad-libbed, and I think it's normally like a 7-8 minute song. He did like, I think 15-20 minutes. It was just insane. And my friend in Los Angeles, Joe, is a big Grateful Dead head, and he knows everything about them pretty much. He heard it, and he said it was just incredible. So that was interesting. This is over here. This is UMD. They're welcoming the students back. So we're gonna cross over here and get some footage of UMD. There's a police officer over there trying to turn over here, but we're gonna see if we can cross over here. We're gonna let the police officer go by, and then we're gonna cross right here after he goes by. We'll wait for these cars to go by, and then we're gonna cross over here. So I think we can cross over here. Let's cross over. So this is the University of Minnesota Duluth. These are some of the buildings, library, stuff like that. And you have this big giant cool statue, and over here a science center. I was mentioning that in a previous video about the space program they have up here, which I didn't even know about. But over here, we're just going to walk over to the planetarium. We have a planetarium up here, which is pretty neat. I've been to lots of universities, and I've never seen a university with a planetarium. So, my daughter went to Texas, in Austin, UT, which is massive. It's like Ohio State. It's just gigantic. When I was looking at colleges, I looked at Ohio State and A&M, Cincinnati, a lot of Ohio schools. I looked at some schools up there. I'm not going to name all of them. I looked at about 6 or 7, but went to a private university. Smaller, but very expensive, and very good university. So we got, this is the Geodome Theater. I didn't know that was the name of it, but this is the Charles L. Matish Geodome Theater, and I guess that's the name of the planetarium. Because this is, I want to say this is it over here. Yep, this is it. So this is, I'm just going to show you, this is the campus, one side of the campus. It's a decent sized campus. Walk through, I'm not going to walk through the whole university. It's going to take me 15-20 minutes to do that. And we're going to go ahead and try to get home because it's a little smoky. The rain's dissipating the smoke quite a bit, but here we go. This is the University of Minnesota Duluth Planetarium. So, and with lots of meters for parking, and Office of Admissions check in because school's about to start in the next week or two. So lots of students are showing up. They had on the news a line of, so there's some police over there making sure everything's fine. I hope they don't come up to me and ask me what I'm doing. I don't want to look suspicious, but I'm just trying to come up with content. And we just got done hiking uphill. Over here we got about 4 or 5 students playing frisbee. They got a discus frisbee over there with the for ultimate frisbee, discus golf, frisbee golf. They got the one of the bases over there set up with the metal thing that you flick it into. So they're trying to get it into the goal. There's 3 of them. There's a girl and 2 guys. Oh, the girl just got it. She just putted it in. That's what they call. There's different size frisbees for that. These little putters or drivers, or got different size frisbees. But it looks like they're done. They're packing it up. So stop. Yeah, but yeah. So it's nice out today. Let's look. Yesterday was mid to low 80s. Today's probably low 70s, and it's nice out because it's rainy. So the temperature is gone down a lot. So we showed you UMD, and I just saw frisbee over there. Oh, they're at a different. They're over here. That's a driver. That's a driver. So the frisbee going over there. They're trying to get in that goal over there. Oh, she did it. Oh, she did a good one. Uh-oh. I hit the tree. She did it. Didn't do backhand throw. She did a forward throw. So they're really good. But yeah, they're having fun. They're looking at me now. So they're wondering what the heck I'm doing. So I'm gonna stop filming. But we're gonna go ahead and cut this short. I think my last long video was an hour and 13 or hour and 14 minutes, and we're at about an hour and 12, hour and 13, right about where we were yesterday for part 2 of the Hartley Trail Walk. This will be part 1 of the August 26th hillside walk from the downtown area up to UMD. And we're going to go up to a little bit further up the hill by St. Scholastica, which is a Catholic university right up the way. So we're going to film there, but we're going to cut this one down to 1 hour and 13 minutes. And we'll make a little more content. We'll probably make a short 30 or 40 minute video. That'll probably be it for video footage today, because it's probably not a good idea for me being out in the smoky air for too long. Like I said, the smoke dissipated quite a bit, so it's not as bad as it was this morning, but it's probably not super healthy for me to be outside for 5-6 hours breathing in the remnants. So you have a great morning or midday, and we'll get back to you here in about 15-20 minutes. Take care.